there before seconds talking a little bit about a very simple three-step optimization formula that you can use to attract more attention, increase your influence, and sell smarter than you already are from your very next message, meeting, or high-stakes moment. How's that game plan sound, body? Good? All right, let's do this. Before we dive in, if we have not met yet, my name is Erin King, and I truly feel the best way to get to know anyone is not the company that they work with or the company they started, but the company that they keep. So friends, if you don't mind, I would love just to quickly introduce you to the three souls that mean the most to me in this world, that I spend the most time with. Starting respectfully, of course, the very top of our household. Friends, please meet the one and only Miss Betty White. You may have met Betty yesterday. She made some friends in the lobby. Now, do we have any fur parents in the audience?
Woo!
Okay. Not to get political, this is very polarizing. Do dogs belong in bed with humans? Correct. Correct answer. Should dogs be forced to dress in Halloween costumes with their humans? Yes or no? Also correct. Also correct. Everyone knows that a WWF wrestler needs a referee. So, and I saw one gal back here in the white shirt going like this. No, don't worry, look, she loves it. She freaking loves it. Next, I would love for you all to meet the person who thinks of the head of our household. This is my husband, Mr. Hartman King. Oh, no one ever cheers for him. That's so kind. He's here. He is going to love that. That has never happened. Thank you so much. Okay, so his middle name is Hartman. He goes by it as his first name. It sounds like a last name. You guys, whatever. All I know is in the right light, he gives off like sort of busted Bradley Cooper vibes, which, like, very much here for. Yeah. He's like, you had to say busted. Okay. Next, friends, I would love to meet the woman that has had the absolute biggest influence on my life. Body friends, please meet the one and only Nana. Thank you. So Nana came over here on a boat from Ireland when she was 18 years old by herself. She's the OG baddie of our whole family. She's been spending our entire lives, me and my 36 first cousins, count it, Irish Catholics making more Irish Catholics. Super low-key Christmas, no drama. Okay, we're not unpacking that today. Okay. So growing up, Nana was always kind of like, you get good grades, fine. You play sports, fine, whatever. But for Nana, the gold star was given when it came to what the Irish call the gift of gab. The gift of gab is that tool that some people just seem to have, where no matter what they're asking you to do, no matter what they're describing, no matter what's going on, you find yourself, like you don't even want to say yes, but you find your head making this motion, right? And you're like, why am I, okay, I'm in, sign me up, what time, I'm there, right? That's the gift of gab. And Nana, growing up, she'd be like, if you can, I always see her get so proud in her eyes, if we could tell a great story, nail the punchline of a joke, if we could, you know, remember every stanza of a long poem, that's where she got the misty eyes. She'd be like, oh, go on, love. That was like the gold star, right? So we grew up knowing from Nana that language isn't just language, but our words can change our world.
Okay.
We grew up knowing that your language can make you kind of forgettable, or it can make your experience, your short, wild, one precious life on this earth truly magical, okay? So growing up, Nana and I were obsessed with this television show. We have a mixed bag of ages here, and what my permullet taught me, body fam, is this. Keep this in mind. A permullet is the danger. It's the risk you take when you do anything in this life just halfway. Might have a little bit of a permullet situation in your own life, okay? Now, a permullet situation, we have perm and mullet, okay? There's two distinct hairstyles that don't belong together, and there's a tension happening between the two. And that tension for you in your business or body, as you are asking people to engage with your content, join your team, be a part of your organization, check out your content, be a part, asking people to say, hey, see me. And some people say, hell yeah, and they're on board. But sometimes you don't get that response. Sometimes, worse than anything, you don't get any response at all. And we all know that no answer, and sadly, is still an answer, right? And so this awkward position between yes and maybe not, no, that awful feeling we have when we're sort of this like purgatory is the gap that we're gonna close today. So let's talk about, before we can talk about going full perm, getting the yes more often, online, offline, and all the time, we're gonna talk about why you're actually getting no. Now we think about why you get no. If I was to ask you, the last time someone said, I'm not really interested, why did they turn you down? I teach these workshops all over the world, and I get all kinds of answers, but the most common answer that I get is, you know what, Erin? With these dang phones, no one can pay attention anymore. Everyone, it's so crowded, everyone's not paying attention. And so while it is a crowded landscape, no one's paying attention, but it's also true, Body Fam, that 15 million of us watched the entire season 2 of Stranger Things in a mere 48 hours. Okay. So we do pay attention to what we want. Bridgerton, where'd the hot guy go? We can talk about it later, okay? So because our attention spans have gotten a little shorter, so have our decision spans. Cornell University put out a study that said that you are making an average of 35,000 decisions every single day. Your brain is like a bouncer at the hottest nightclub in town, and everyone wants to get in, okay? Your brain has an earpiece. Your brain has sunglasses. Your brain has some Shaun T muscles, baby. And so, when you think about your brain with its 35,000 decisions just waiting to get in, it doesn't have time to make all these really strategic, fully analytical decisions. Think of how you go through your email. You are ruthless. Your Shaun T bouncer brain is ruthless. In 15 seconds, you're reading 10 words, 2.5 seconds, that little preview. And your brain's going, do I care? Do I not care? Friend, foe, server, seller, stranger, not. Should I answer? Should I not answer? If I do answer, what am I gonna say? I'm not gonna say it, you gotta delete it. They won't write them back. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna write them back. That's 22 decisions in 15 seconds. Now our brains have recognized who's on the list. Our bouncer brains know that if it's our friends, if it's our family, if it's our body team, and they post on social media, for example, our brains are like, yes, like if they're feeling themselves, we're feeling them, right? We're like, yes, post whatever, we got you, right? But what about the per-mullet people? What about the people in your newsfeed, in your world that you're not totally sure about yet? But people that you're uncertain about. I don't know about you, but I go through it with a little bit of a different lens. I see this guy, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, you're flying first class again. You're a vegan who volunteers, and you're always hashtag blessed. Like, you're hashtag bragging, Bob, right? I'll swipe up and I'll say, you know what, nope, not for me. Then I'll see like always on vacation Vicky, right? She's in Italy again. You know, she's like, I'm eating all of the gelato and pizza, but it's the weirdest thing. I'm like losing weight because we're walking so much, right? You're like, hard no, right? Who's paying for this? Okay, then you have perfect mom, Pam. Okay? Pam has 97 children, but everything in her house is white. Jog in your white jeans, you'll be fine. Like, just, that's it. So simple. No. Okay, so then, this is just my new scheme. You have yours, okay? So then maybe you have, again, not someone that we know and love that can post anything and we'll say yes. We're talking about making decisions on people that are acquaintances strangers, if we're trying to get out beyond our existing sphere of influence and bring people in who don't already know us and love us, this is the conversation we're having. We're looking at it from their lens, okay? So this guy, we don't know him, but let's just say he's no caption, no context, no shirt, no problem. Just went to the gym, okay? I don't hate him, okay. That's a nice work, right, okay. Maybe you guys know Deb. Didn't even need the backstory, did we? This is DM Deb. She's the gal that sends you like the multi-scroller wall of text, right? And you're just like, I haven't seen you for sure since high school. Like, I don't understand this big. So these are our friends, okay? They're not our friends yet, but they're people online. And they're not bad people. They're just not thinking through how they're being as persuasive as possible if we don't already know them and love them to make us care, to bring us in, to make us say, tell me more. Now, they're not bad people. Turns out it's just science. Psychologists call it the online disinhibition effect. We're gonna call it the ODE mode for today's purposes. And the ODE mode is the scientific reason that you see people in person at an event like Summit and they're awesome. And then you see them online and you're like, oh my God, like religion and politics, like that was a choice. Like, okay, like love that for you. You see them at book club. They're amazing, but then maybe there's a different vibe online. The screens that we have to use to get your story, your journey out, scramble our humanity. Now, you're not going to be surprised to know that a study that was published in 2019 found that not only are you more persuasive and influential and incredible at a live event, face-to-face, or on FaceTime, or on a Zoom, there's a two-way interaction, but friends, we are 34 times more persuasive face-to-face than we are behind screens. 34 times is a Grand Canyon-sized gap between online you, typing, one-way video, texting, group text, you drop the meme, there's crickets, why? It was funny, did not get it, right? Between online you and offline you. So let's close this gap. Let's break it down to understand what's happening so we can correct it and help you to turn more of these strangers into friends online. Okay, offline, we're like a tennis match, okay? Offline, we hit the conversation ball back and forth. How are you? How are you? How's it been going? Good. We keep the conversation going back and forth in real life over the net. Okay, 40% of the time, less than half the time, about the time you spend talking about yourself. Fine, less than half, pretty balanced, cool. Okay, I want you to imagine that that tennis net comes up and becomes a screen. Now, what percent of the time would you think, because of the ODE mode, we're not bad people, it's science, blame it on the science, what percent of the time would you say that we are now using language that is focused on ourselves, nice and loud, let me hear? 80% of the time, yes, in the purple. 80% of the time. So we're essentially typing like we're in selfie mode, okay? Now everybody loves a good selfie. I hope we get a ton of selfies together. Nobody's judging, unless you're using one of these, in which case everybody's judging, right? No extreme selfie sticks, okay? But just to prove a point, I'm gonna land this plane, okay? There's a point to this to help you understand the shift you can make. What we're gonna do so you don't forget it, because you're getting a lot of great information over the next couple of days, we're going to do a mini photo shoot, okay? The lights are gonna come up. Here's what's gonna happen. Lights are coming up. I'm gonna drop a beat. You're gonna grab a friend next to you, take a quick selfie, skinny arms, Zoolander, duck face, I'm here for it all, okay? But then what you're gonna do is when you're finished, you're gonna hold your phone up, the house lights will come down, and you shush your chatty friend so I can ask you a question, okay? Sound good? Photo shoot, let's do this, friends.
Check my name, baby, how you feeling? Hands on, check my name, baby, how you feeling? Tired of the bullshit, gone just a sugar. Keep it moving, yeah, Lord. Trying to get some new shit in there, swimwear, going to the bullshit. Come now, come dry your eyes. You know you inside, you can touch the sky.
twice as
who
much,
already are
talking
in
twice
real life,
as much about
bringing
them,
her or him or them to the screen and breaking through the ode
and
mode.
half
This
as
is
much
a
as
trick
long as you
that
bring it together.
99.999% of the humans on this planet do not do. When it comes to social media, it looks like showing about you, but typing about them. You show about you visually, verbally, your story, your excitement, your products. Yes, it's your post, and your story is so powerful and people want to hear it. But we have to just type about them a scotch more, like twice as much, which sounds, suspiciously, like the average advice to focus on your customer, which sounds simple, but you know what else sounds simple? You want to be healthy? You eat veggies and sweat every day. Like, got it. We all know common sense is not equal common practice, otherwise none of us would be here. So here is where I'm going to give you a simple method that you can use to break through the ode mode and unlock your most persuasive self. It's called the pub method. I developed it after working at my agency for over 10 years. We were a paid-for-performance model, so we were really motivated to figure out what gets the click, what gets the yes, what gets the open, what gets the share, what goes viral. Because if we didn't get paid. So I was very interested in like how do we move away from how you feel sometimes with your social media, where that one reel just like crushed it and you're like, what happened? Like was Mercury in retrograde? Like how did that one video kill it? Well, we wanted to figure out how we could engineer it on purpose, early and often. So we analyzed thousands of pieces of content. And friends, I found there are 3 key ingredients in a specific order that if you can remember to run your content through it, it's like an insurance policy to optimize the way that you show up to the world to make it a whole lot more likely that someone who doesn't know you yet, doesn't really care about your content, will stop their scroll and say, tell me more, okay? Now I'm gonna give you the 30,000 foot view of this method. I teach much longer workshops, but for today I'm gonna give you the headlines. I speak quickly, as you can tell. If you don't wanna scribble notes for the next 35 minutes, what you can do is this. You can text more yes, no spaces. More yes to the number 66866. If you're outside the US, bonjour, hola, call from you in the elevator. You can use pub.erinking.com. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get 3 of my best-selling ebooks that will help remember when you leave, you'll be reminded of exactly how to use the pub method. It's a 13-page cheat sheet that you can share with your team, share with your friends. You can use it to run your content through it real quick to amp up the yes factor. Second thing you're gonna get is my ChatGPT book for beginners. It is all about network marketing. My agency is doing a lot with AI and ChatGPT and Midjourney. So in the second ebook, you're gonna have prompts, how to teach it, how to prompt it, how to think about coaching the AI, using the pub method, and all kinds of great goodies there to make AI feel not as scary and more approachable. Finally, I'm gonna share with you my big deal diary, which is 100 pages about unlocking what I call your big deal energy with prompts, affirmations, journaling, and more. Okay, so that's the notes. Got it? Okay. Now, when it comes to sales, is it better to show or tell? Nice and loud. Show or tell, nice and loud. Show. So I'm gonna show you in less than 1 minute exactly what the pub method is going to do for you and your business using a clip from what I kind of think was one of the greatest movies of the late 90s, early 2000s. See if you can guess it. It was a movie about a high school teenager who gets the chance to interview an up-and-coming rock band for Rolling Stone magazine. Anybody? Almost famous. Let's take a peek.
Hi, I'm William Miller, and I'm here from the Cream Magazine to interview Black Sabbath.
Not on the list.
Hi! I'm a journalist. I write for Cream Magazine.
Oh, The Enemy, a rock writer.
Right, well, I'd like to interview you or somebody from your band. Russell, Jeff, Ed, Larry. I really love your band. I think the song Fever Dog is a big step forward for you guys. And you guys producing it yourselves instead of Glyn Johns. That was the right thing to do. And Russell, the guitar sound is incendiary. Incendiary. Way to go.
Well, hey, man, don't stop there.
I'm incendiary too, man. Come on.
Have you ever had a William Miller moment? Where you're so excited to share your story, but they say we're not ready for you. Now here's what happened with William Miller. William Miller did the classic move that everyone does. He said, this is who I am, this is what I want, are you interested? He used the classic phrases. I'm so excited to be here. I wanted to reach out. I was hoping to get some time on your calendar. My name is, and I can't wait to show you this. Here's the problem with starting, whether it's an email, a presentation, a live, or a post using this language. The problem is, remember, your Sean T. bouncer brain has to get through 35,000 decisions a day. So when it sees the first 10 words of a mobile notification, what it sees is a sea of selfie mode. And when it sees selfie mode, it doesn't want to let you in. It's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you positive. The vibe high in the club, high quality interactions, it's trying to protect you. And so this is where we want to flip the focus of your language so that you can get past people's bouncer brain and begin to be more persuasive every single time your fingers touch a keyboard. This is where the pub method comes into play. It's called the pub method because Nana used to say that in an Irish pub, there are no strangers, only friends you haven't met yet. So let's turn some strangers into friends. Body, that was just a very long warm-up, and now the exercises are really gonna begin. Athletes, who's ready to do some mental work? Yes or yes? Okay, there's 3 exercises. Get a sip of water. This is a mental exercise for your brain so we can build your persuasion muscle, okay? Step 1. What William Miller did was, instead of saying what 99.999% of people say, he flipped it around and said, my opening was something truly personal to my audience. What he said was, Russell, Ed, Jeff, Ed, Larry, love your band. Your song Fever Dog is a big step forward for you guys. You producing it yourself, that was the right thing to do. Okay? Now he's a super fan of the band. It's easy to be personal. Good job, William Miller. But what if you're emailing a complete stranger on the internet that you've never met before? You're not a fan of their band. In fact, you don't know much about them. What instead can you write? I'm going to show you the opening sentence that I sent to a complete stranger on LinkedIn when I started my agency and I was looking for someone to hire me. I had no brand footprint, no followers, no clients, and really no business emailing someone of this caliber at this company, okay? And here is what I sent. Tell me if your bouncer brain feels a scotch more interested to say, tell me more. Top right corner. It looks like you're a fellow dog mom, loved your, who wants to hear more? You want to hear a little more, don't you? That's why this is the magical phrase, my friends. It looks like you. It looks like you. It sounds like you. It seems like you. As soon as someone says it looks like you, your brain's like, go on. Tell me more about me. You Googled me? You Googled me? Oh my God, that's so nice. This is really important, you guys, because after you say it looks like you, then you're wondering, well, Erin, it looks like they what? Friends, in 2023, research is the new listening. Unless you are a total psychopath and have no digital footprint, there is something publicly available and available safely and legally about everyone. Here's what you're looking for. You're looking for 2 key elements, whether you're scrolling or Googling. Is this something that is genuine and specific? This is the key, genuine and specific. It could be a compliment, it could be a commonality, it could be a comment, but it has to be genuine and specific. Something you truly believe and something that's very specific. Why? Because I get hit up all day long by people trying to sell me everything under the sun that you can possibly imagine. And here's what they think is being personal. They'll say, Erin, loved your book. And then they'll go into a pitch slap. Say it again. They go into a pitch slap, trying to sell me all this stuff, which I would be interested in, but I just like to test the water and see if they're being honest with me or not, because I'm suspicious. So, I write back and say, thank you so much for your message, that was so nice. Then I say, which part of the book? And it's weird because no one writes back because they didn't read it, okay? Versus someone else who writes, I loved in chapter 5 where you said it takes guts to go with your gut. It gave you the courage to do X, Y, Z. Then I'm like, you know what? Send over the presentation, right? Send it over. Good job, you. It's a difference, okay? Now, what if you're trying to get yes from, let's say, a whole arena full of individuals and you can't research every single one of these incredible Instagram influencers that I feel like are in the front row? What if you can't do that? Good question, Bobby. Okay, this is my friend Amanda and her beautiful mama. Amanda and I have been friends for 20 years. She was working in corporate America, killing it, always had a game plan, living her best life, and suddenly, her mom got sick, as it happens. And she's like, I want to spend time with you, I want to be with you, I want to take care of you, so she leaps to a network marketing business. And she probably does the big mistake that people do when they don't have a game plan, they're just new because they're excited, and she pissed off like everyone in her newsfeed, right? A lot of caps lock, a lot of emojis. My mom, who loves Amanda, was made of honor in each other's weddings. Like, this is my mother. Stop following her on Facebook. It was bad. So I sat down with her, we had, heart to heart. I'm like, listen, show me what you're sending and let's see if we can link arms and fix this, because I know that you're amazing, what you're doing, you're really excited about. So we sat down and I said, show me what you're posting out there. Now, I'm gonna sum this up for you, but I want you to look, I want you to imagine you're leaning back and you're scrolling through your newsfeed, right? And you're just kind of just checking things out. Does your bouncer brain say, get in here, you, get on the list, or is it like, not your night, right? Okay, let's just see, and again, no harm, this is not bad to good, it's just like fine to fantastic, right? Here's the post, deep breath, I'll sum it up. Sappy post alert, I decided to walk away from my corporate career. I didn't know what I was doing, I wanted more, there's an opportunity, time with family, flexibility, freedom from financial stress, nothing wrong with this post, but body, have you seen a post like this before on the internet, yes or no? Do you feel extremely excited to be like, go on, Amanda, tell me more, yes or no? Why? A landmine of I-bombs and my-bombs. Yes, middle section right here, correct. A landmine. So I said, Amanda, here are 5 magical phrases. We have been A/B testing at my agency for years, and they drive higher open rates, higher interest rates, because they flip the focus of those little 10 words, that little mobile notification preview that your Sean T. bouncer brain has to go through every day to make 35,000 micro decisions. Here are the 5 magical phrases. I gave her an option of all 5. Hint, anything that is focused on your audience. Now, how in the world would you use that in an arena? Does anyone else here have a friend that they usually see on the internet, and it's really nice to see them live and give them a hug and you pick right back up where you left off? Everyone's head nodded. Then it was, how persuasive are you when you're doing this? Within 15 seconds, your Sean T. bouncer brain was like, I don't know, pink dress, weird shoes, a lot of energy, but like, go on, right? Right? So she picks this open instead. Have you ever thought you had life perfectly planned out, but then something unexpected threw you way off the path? Hands up if that resonates in any way with you and your world ever, of course. Now we see ourselves, we see our story in the focus. Makes sense so far, yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay, take a sip of water. That was the first exercise, deep breaths, okay? We're gonna do exercise 2 of 3, sip of water, reset, second exercise. The second step of the pub method is you wanna look at your email, your video, your presentation, your pitch, your script, your post, your live, your story, your DM, your comment, your caption. And you want to ask yourself, am I offering something that is truly useful? Now, again, the ode mode is a tricky person. Picture the ode mode when the screen comes to you and your person, like a Harry Potter invisibility cloak. Can you imagine what you would do if you had a real Harry Potter invisibility cloak? Yeah, that's what the screen does to us. It makes us a less vibrant, amazing version of ourselves. So he says, I'm with Cream Magazine. Now, this is the equivalent of what our per mullet people do when they say, here I am flying first class, here I am in Italy, here I am working out, here I am dancing in my white jeans with my daughter in my perfect white house. We can see that, right? Duh. We're doing work, it's hard truths. I'm trying to keep it like, this is real. Okay, so when you think about this, right, is it super useful to you for them to just describe what they're already doing? Here we are having the best time ever at Summit, and you're not. Like, you know, and it's like, you can see that, it does look really fun, I totally am going up here, right? Like, which is not bad for the event planners, FOMO works. Okay. So when we look at this, we want to say what is truly useful is what you can see that your audience can't. What can't your audience see? Okay, these are your non-Googleables. And yes, right now in this arena, you possess so many non-Googleables and non-ChatGPTables that no one on earth sees and says and feels and knows in the way that you do. Here is a monster list of all the things that only you know about your life and your business. It's your unique story, your observation, your life hacks, your recommendations, your ideas, your points of view. Would your bouncer brain feel differently if just went to the gym, which we can see he went to the gym? What if he said, hey, you know what? I had a health scare. And I was having a hard time getting my butt in the gym, but I found this hack where I would sleep in my gym clothes, and now a year later, my numbers are back down, I have my confidence back up, and it's all thanks to this trick. Now do we care a lot more? Is our bouncer brain like, you know what? Get in here, you, huh? Come on in. Yeah. Maybe perfect mom Pam, you know, maybe she didn't have a great childhood, and she's trying to undo the damage by connecting with her daughter. And maybe they were having a hard time because she never saw a good example of it. So she's like, you know what we're doing in this room? Every morning we do a 5-minute dance party. And it's just, the timer goes off, we crank on the music, it's just a little moment. Because I want her to hear those songs and remember our time together. Now do we love Perfect Mom Pam? Yes. You know, Julie Boris, I follow Julie Boris. Where's Julie Boris? Hands up, round of applause. There she is. I love Julie Boris. So she's got the Disney determination, the Disney focus, she's disciplined, right? But she's not posting like, yep, just get up every day, no problem, I'm just a machine. No, that's not what she posts. She posts every day these beautiful, genuine, organic, what's going on from a mindset standpoint that allows her to keep showing up. Every time I see her posting like, you know what, that's a really great way to look at it. She's sharing what we can't see from the, I'm just fit, like she's like, no, this is how you get there. Moira Casaba, where's Moira Casaba? Anybody? Yes, Moira. I can't even tell you, I love following you. Because when you share your posts, you're not like, you know, it's super easy. You just drink mocktails and you just drink water and it's totally fine. No. You're not like, Erin, you're just weak from your lack of willpower. No, you're like, look, I thought I was gonna die from this stuff. I turned my life around, here's how I did it. Here's some ways you can do it too. And how many women and men have come to you in the last day and said, I had taken a time out and rethought it. I know I have. I have a Dry Days app on my phone thanks to you. Yeah? Friends, every single interaction online, you are leaving someone exhausted or energized. You are leaving them exhausted or energized. Let's go back to our friend, Almost Famous, okay? You see the moment where Russell the Rockstar's brain does the look back, right? Because William Miller, the journalist, his non-Googleable was a word that I've never heard before, maybe you've never heard before, obviously Russell hadn't heard it before. What was the juicy adjective, nice and loud? Incendiary. I had to Google that. Designed to cause fire. Who doesn't want to be incendiary? Like, hell yeah, right? In the movies, at the confidence crisis, William drops the incendiary bomb on him, and all of a sudden, he's like, you know what, man? You're on the list. Get in here. Come on in, you. What else you got in that brain of yours, right? Useful. For me, I emailed that stranger dog mom on LinkedIn trying to get someone to hire me for my agency. Well, guess what? she had posted a poll on LinkedIn. And on this poll, she said, do you guys think we should run a big live event? And she said, do you guys think my live event's a little too long? I'm hearing it's a little too long. And the poll was like 99% yes. And so I was thinking to myself, gosh, how would that make me feel if I put out a poll and everyone was like, yeah, what you're doing is a little like, could use some work. So I sent her this message. I'd never met this woman in my life. I just said, hey, you got this big cool event. What if you live streamed cameras backstage and there was unscripted dialogue of all these VIPs and celebrities where on a second screen you could watch the real story. Not the scripted story, the real story. You could see what they're talking about. Just an idea as a way to hold attention, as a way to make your broadcast not seem so long because you're having a hard time, obviously, cutting it. Okay? Just an idea that I had, non-Googleable. Send it over. Let's go back to Amanda. Amanda had a photo of her and her mother, and her phrase to describe what we can't see from the image alone was imagine you're crushing your corporate career, when suddenly you need more flexibility to care for your ailing family member. That's where I found myself 1 year ago. Now raise your hand, body. I know I'm not alone in this. One of my biggest whys is I have an ailing family member. Raise your hand if your family is your why. Look around. This is how we see ourselves in someone else's beautiful story. And you notice, at the end of this, it says, that's where I found myself 1 year ago. Now, it's not that we can never say I. We're not going to talk in the third person like a narcissistic nutcase, right? Like, well, Erin's here to drop some knowledge. You'd be like, ew, unfollow, right? I'm not wrong. So when you look at this, it's not that you never say I, you just are more intentional and aware about it. Once now we're on board, like you want to hear, like, is your mom okay? What's going on? Now we're invested because we can see ourselves walking her journey. And here's the best news, you guys. She went on to tell this beautiful story. But for you, tomorrow, one of my dear friends, who is a world-class storyteller, the one and only Kendra Hall, is going to be here tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. I use Kendra's storytelling formula all the time. It is the bomb. She's going to teach it to you tomorrow. And when she's talking to you tomorrow, I want you to remember, this is the step where you're going to insert her beautiful formula, is useful. How do we tell a useful, compelling story that gets people to stop their scroll and say, tell me more? Okay? With me so far, yes or no? Yes?
Yes.
All right, grab some water. That's the second exercise of 3. Grab some water, take a deep breath. Here we go. The final step, body friends. You want to run your content through the amp up digital persuasion. Power is this. Are we keeping it beautifully, blessedly, brilliantly brief? Now, friends, we are athletes, okay? Look, I played Division I lacrosse. I was the NCAA Rookie of the Year. I don't want to talk about it, you guys. Okay, I don't want to talk about it. Quit asking me about it. I taught spin for 10 years. Okay, we are the same. We are athletes. We like to cheer and then talk and connect and support. We're talkers. Brief's not our jam. Not our jam, and we're okay with that. But here's the thing. I'll tell you the story real fast. I'll never forget. I met my future husband, and I'm going back to the southeastern part of the United States to meet what are my future in-laws. They don't know it, but I do, because I'm like, this guy's a tall drink of water, and you lock him down ASAP, right? Lock him down. Lock him down. So I'm at a big long table with all of these Southerners, and everyone knows the southeastern part of the United States, they're actually the best storytellers, they're epic storytellers, the accent, they have jokes, they're just great. I come from Irish epic storytellers. We tell the longest story with all the details that nobody cares about, okay? So the big long table of all the Southerners, and I'm like really putting on my A game because I'm like, I totally can marry you, right? So we're at this, and I'm telling the story. It's going on way too long, a little like this one. And I see my future husband, Hartman, and he is going like this. And I'm on like unnecessary detail, like 904, okay? And people are, I'm losing them, okay? But I'm like, I'm a pro speaker, they're gonna love this. They were not loving it, okay? So he's going, right? that mean? And so my future mother-in-law, Mrs. Charlotte Macaulay King of the Birmingham Kings, she sees him and she looks at me and she goes, bless your heart, darling, he is telling you gotta land the plane. Bring it home, you're losing us, right? Got it? Got it? Okay. You guys land the plane? Deb, okay?
Oh, God.
Guys, we gotta land the plane and get excited. But think of when you talk yourself in and out of a deal. People are like, yeah, I wanna hear more. And then you're like, stop it. But you're like, blah, blah, right? And they're like, you seem kind of like, do I don't know. You can talk yourself in and out of it, right? Don't forget the oath mode. The Harry Potter's invisibility cloak does not want you to be good at this. It's up against you, so you have to defeat it using a strategic method. You don't want to work out. You have your tactics to defeat the excuses, to show up and hold yourself accountable to the promises you made. This is no different. It's just this instead of this. Okay, so here are the 3 worst ways, based on data, to land the plane. Okay? Let me know what you think. We know how email works, but thank you for the coaching of how to respond to you. Number 2, when would be a good time? Oh my gosh, I just cannot wait to get back in my schedule and find the time I don't have. Thank you for asking. I'll check first. Right? And finally, if I don't hear from you, I'll just follow up. You're like, no means no, okay? No means no. This is the game changer, my friends. You want to make a bold, brief, direct ask that will get you the answers you want, that will get you out of permullet territory, that may be purgatory, and close it over to the yes. You simply want to make sure that you land the plane with making a clear, direct A or B ask. Por ejemplo, would you like to meet? Date or date? Do you have this opinion or this opinion? Do you prefer this product or this product? Are you down with this vibe or that vibe? Yes or yes? For William Miller, if you notice what he said, was I'd like to interview you or someone from your band. And what happened?
I'm a scenario too, man. Come on.
A radical reversal of results. For my dog mom, stranger on the internet, who is the highest ranking C-level executive of a Fortune 500 company, and I am nobody, starting my company, sending wild cold emails, this was what I asked her. I said, hey, your office in LA on Tuesday at 11, how about a Zoom call? Wednesday at 2. Stay tuned for what she said. Finally, we have Amanda. Amanda, telling her story, ends her post to many people, not just one-to-one, but again, making them feel seen. Like in the selfie, she said, if life has thrown you a curveball lately, which are you choosing to embrace? Faith or fear? Faith or fear, buddy? Faith or fear? Come on, faith or fear, buddy? Let me hear you. Faith or fear? Let me hear you. Faith. And here is what happened. Look, I'm going to show you the post again. We took the exact same photo, reposted it with a personal, useful, brief caption. Now, talking about Instagram reach is a training session that I will do another day. We know there is so much that goes into it. The hashtags, the timing, the influencers, the angel tears. Is Mercury retrograde again? Okay. There's a lot that goes into it, but keep all that in mind and look at the difference in the yes that Amanda elicited from her network. She went from 19 likes to 10 times the yes by just shifting the focus of her post while still sharing her incredibly important story. She has been using the pub method now for years. She has trained over 1,000 women in her downline. By the way, her mom is doing great. And most importantly, my mom's following her on Facebook again. So win! I'm so proud of her. So can you see how it's important? Next time you're looking at your content, your captions, you want to ask yourself, is it personal, useful, brief? all three in that order will unlock and trigger the yes. All three in that order is important because we've all seen we do anything only halfway, right? So, all three. Okay. Are you ready to go per mullet or full perm? You sure? Okay, prove it. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take your gorgeous selfie and you're gonna upload it anywhere on the internet. Tag me and just practice the very first step. Because what you're gonna wanna do is say, I'm so excited to be here, I'm so pumped. If you just practice the first part, have you ever heard this nugget? So there you are, you haven't seen this person in ages. You know, imagine that you weren't gonna go somewhere and you're so glad you did. Just a little flip of the language. Just practice the first step. And what's gonna happen is today by 5 p.m. CST, my team's gonna DM 10 of you with free signed copies of my book. So I can't wait to see your selfies. Put them on the internet. Okay, now, there are some people here in the front in particular that are like, I don't know, Erin, like I'm not really a selfie person. Selfies are kind of silly. I'm gonna tell you a story. One selfie changed the course of my entire life. Before Will Smith punched Chris Rock in the face, this was the most famous moment the Oscars had ever seen. Anyone remember this photo by chance about 10 years ago? Okay. A bunch of celebs get together, they break the internet. What you can't see from this photo is that just 6 months prior, I was sitting at my old, cold wooden table and I was crying my eyes out because I could not pay a $100 selfie bill. Before I go any further, raise your hand if you are the first person in your family to have found a source of income that does not come from a traditional job with a traditional boss. Raise your hand, look around. So when you think about that, the word income, what is money to you? I believe money is energy, I believe money is safety, and I believe money is agency. Agency over our own lives. And when I was growing up in this little world,
I'm so sorry.
granddaughter of Irish immigrants, all four of my grandparents from Ireland. They had very not wealthy backgrounds at all. And I remember being in an environment where my mom always had to ask my dad for money, and my dad always had to ask his boss for money, and my grandmother always had to ask my grandfather for money, and my grandfather always had to ask his boss for money. And there was a very scarce energy that I grew up in. I remember being a little kid and being like, oh, so the way to not be angry and shouting and stressed is to be a boss. Okay, so I tried my absolute best. My first company, I was working for a local television station, and I went full Jerry Maguire, very dramatic. I was like, who's coming with me? And like, no one went with me because I was 25. I got into $80,000 worth of personal credit card debt trying to run payroll for my team. Had to close it down, eat crow, and go back and get a job. Dug out of the debt, learned more, got my courage up. This time I was like, you know what, I'm gonna raise money from someone else to start a company because I saw a little company called the Dollar Shave Club. Now this company was for men. I'm like, what could I do for chicks that I could sell for $1 billion? And I came up with a brilliant idea, a company called PMS.com. We were the tampon fairies. I'll never forget Newport Beach, California, big, long, shiny conference table, Pacific Ocean sparkling out the windows, bunch of tan, ripped alpha males, like 4 minutes out of a CrossFit, like just screamed in a Ferrari, blaring Kanye before he was canceled, right? And in the middle of this conference table is a monster, Mount Everest pile of tampons. It's a true story. They backed me for 7 figures. We're featured in Forbes. Guess what? It makes no money. 18 months later, I am broke and back to square one. Now, if you have had 1 or 2 monster, exhausting, expensive failures, you know that there's an element of you that arrives at a point where you're wondering, I'm broken, I'm battered, I'm bruised, but can I get back up one last time? It's kind of the old adage of like 3 strikes, you're out. So even though PMS.com was a terrible idea, at the time we did have the internet's largest collection of women coming together. They're sharing brownie recipes and period jokes and husband memes, like over 1 million women. It was amazing. So I'm like, okay, I'm not a good CEO of an e-commerce business, but I do know how to build community online. Maybe that's what I can do. So I started my company, my old cold wood kitchen table, and I had 1 client, and they were very demanding with very little money. And I was working like 80 hours a week and had never had this happen. When I'm just, okay, you got it, we're doing it, da-da-da. And then the cell phone bill comes due, okay, you go to pay it, and you're like, I don't have any money in my checking account. I don't have my savings account. I don't have a credit, I can't pay this. If you've ever had like a comment or a bill or a moment from someone where you're just like, you just zoom out and you're asking yourself like, what am I doing? What if it's never my time? What if I don't have what it takes? What if I'm looking at too many Pinterest literary coffee mugs? I've read too many things, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. What if actually this is not for me? This dream is in me, but it's not for me. And if you ever had that happen, you know you are at one of the worst intersections. On one side, here's where you see yourself. You see yourself saying, it's time to admit that this is not for you. You gotta give up, fail fast, move on before it gets worse. That's over here. The other intersection over here in your mind is that there's that little flutter where you're like, but what if it's that one last rep? What if it's that one last yes? What if it's that one last moment? Like in every Oscar-winning movie where it's darkest before the dawn and the hero gets up one last time and that's when she achieves her breakthrough. But you don't know, and when you don't have money to put in your car and you're coasting on the downhills, it's not as easy of a choice as people make it sound. Okay. So in that moment, I did what I think everyone on planet Earth should do when they find themselves at a really hard crossroads. I took a shower. Tell me you don't get the best ideas in the shower. I am not wrong. Yes. Exfoliation equals epiphanies. That's just science. Okay. So I'm in shower church, as I like to call it. I'm in shower church and I hear Nana's voice. And Nana used to always say, love, the stars will align. The stars will align. I didn't know what that meant because I was a kid. So I was like, star is a line? Like, I don't even know. How can a star be a line? I remember singing when I was little. Now I'm older, I'm like, okay, the stars will align. So in my mind, I'm like, stars will align, stars will align, okay? Stars will align. All these moments are happening. I'm getting rejected, shot down, running out of gas, falling apart, and stars will align, but nothing is aligning. Until I sent the message to the dog mom on LinkedIn. And that message turned into a meeting, which unlocked a moment, which had my little nobody agency hired to run social media for the world's largest entertainment event in the world, the Oscars. When we got there, I hired all my friends, thank you. I hired all my friends, and we get there, and we had the headsets and the clipboards. We worked so hard, worked like crazy. I see Reese Witherspoon, my birthday twin, she doesn't care. I'm like, Reese, she doesn't care. We're on the red carpet, and all of a sudden, on my watch, running social media for this event, this selfie goes viral and breaks the internet, and it changed everything for me. And here's what I want you to understand. Is that it's not just the words that change your world that you put out to others that matter. It's also the words that you are saying to yourself, the specific words that you are saying to yourself. We have to be so careful of the language that we use when we speak to ourselves, when we coach ourselves. Because friends, the stars had quite literally aligned. Is my business exploded, I could pay the cell phone bill, but what was most important for me is being someone like you that maybe is the first woman or man in your family where your nieces and your nephews and your godchildren and your second cousins and your third cousins and everybody all can see what it looks like to have Auntie E be a business owner. We're not just doing this for physical and fiscal optimization. We are doing this because we are modeling possibility for what is next. And friends, when you think about the messages you're sending, your messages are not just messages. I'm not passionate about social media itself. I'm passionate about being intentional, about being smart, about your precious time, that you're putting your heart and soul into this content to make sure it delivers for you. These messages are not just a DM, email, post, not just messages. These messages are moment makers. And any message at any moment can unlock your Oscar opportunity. At any moment, it could be your breakthrough. One message led to my moment, and Body Fam, one message can lead to yours. So here's my question for you. What is your moment maker? What are you gonna make happen in the next 6 months? Is it a goal? Is it a mission? Is it an objective? Is it your word that you committed to January 6 months ago? You know what, maybe for you, it's been a hard couple of years and it's not really thrive mode, it's more survive mode. So for you, maybe your moment maker is more of a to feel. I wanna feel safe. I want to feel successful. I want to have fun again. I want to feel light. I want to feel clear. I want to feel seen. I want to feel like what I'm doing really, really matters. What is that moment for you? What's been standing between you and that moment? Is it an old limiting belief from when you were a little girl or a little boy and someone told you that you're the black sheep and that approach is not going to work? Maybe for you, it's an old relationship that was serving you really well for a long time, but you kind of know it's time to set it free. Maybe for you, the block is something that you're doing. Toxic habit that you know you have to shake. What is it? What if you took one step towards setting that free? And what is the one little teeny tiny scary moment when you stand up and leave Summit and you could try? Maybe it's just a Google, maybe it's a call, maybe it's a quitting something. Whatever it is, identify it. So you have all these great ideas from Summit and you go home, you can move from ideas into implementation. So for a minute, I want you to imagine that you are receiving your moment maker. It's for you, it's here. And I want you to kind of softly smile to yourself as you imagine how proud and grateful you are. Imagine that gratitude is like a warm light starting at your feet, up through your knees. Feel proud of yourself, feel the joy up through your stomach, past your beautiful, kind, empathetic, thoughtful heart, through your incredibly beautiful voice, your dynamic, powerful voice. The world needs to hear what you have to say, up, finally through that incredible mind, and allow that light of gratitude to surround you, because you did it. You did it. Friends, the reality is what you now have, this gift of gab, this method, you're gonna see it start to work. And here's my final warning for you in our cool down. My final warning is this. People want you to be a success until you are a success. Then you remind them that they're not where they want to be because their excuses didn't work for you. There are people in your life that as you begin to expand your business, grow your influence, they're not cheering for you. Maybe they're passive aggressive. There will be people that no matter how well you pub, they're just not gonna get it. Not gonna get you. And if they don't get you, maybe they aren't for you. When you think about these moments, and the next time, I promise you, expect this will happen. Someone will try to make you play smaller, be less shiny, not believe in you, and the next time that happens, and it is hard to just keep going because you want to get smaller, because it's scary, it doesn't feel good. We want good job you, not stop. When that happens, I don't want you to stutter step. I don't want you to stop. And so here is what I want you to remember. I want you to use what I have used my entire career when everyone tells me this is not gonna work. Remember what Nana would always say. When it comes to the haters and the bullies and the jerks, body friends, it is always better to be someone's shot of whiskey than everyone's cup of tea.
Hell yeah, Nana.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You're so